Welcome to Two Bras and a Brit. It's not great, but it's entertaining. I'm Lynn Hartram, and I'm here with Caitlin Greer. What's up, bitches? And Lee Hazel.
What's up, witches?
Oh, there she is. There she is.
Yeah. Hey, we're having a good morning.
Lynn and I are partaking.
Well, you two. Oh, I'm not. I'm an orange squash. Yeah.
You're an orange squash?
Orange squash.
I think orange juice.
Oh, orange juice. Orange squash.
What do you do? Oh, fucking hell, here we go.
What do we call it? We call it orange juice because it's fucking orange juice. We don't call it orange squash.
Oh, all right. Okay, all right. Sorry about that.
Why can't you just leave it alone? You like the entire country is like, you know what is not good enough? The first name that something is given. So we're going to give it a second name to confuse the shit out of the rest of the world. That's my take on British slang.
Yep.
Right, okay. I was going to ask you for a game of knockdown ginger later, but no,
all right.
sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, when I come over there, we're totally going to be two old people playing knockdown ginger.
Oh, I thought of another one.
Punching all the redheads she sees.
There's another. There's another one. There's a difference. You play a game called tic tac toe.
Yeah.
We call it something different.
What do you call? Oh God, what do you call it?
Noughts and crosses.
Well, that one's a little more direct.
It makes sense. Knots and crosses.
It's like less fun, but it makes sense.
I mean, that is one of those things that doesn't really make sense. Like, there's no toes involved.
If you do it with your toes,
I suppose if you go right with you.
there's only two symbols. That's the thing that really irritates me. Is why is there a tic tac toe?
All right, yeah. Maybe the toe is when you win.
Toe. What's happening? So Lynn and I are drinking.
Should be interesting.
10:50 a.m. We're drinking. Just sangria, so it's morning breakfast.
Morning juice. What did you call orange juice?
Orange squash.
Okay,
Orange
so
squash.
we've got rosé squash.
Rosé squash.
Do you not call it? It's we have orange juice, but this is the one that you dilute with water.
Ew.
Fuck it! Hang on. Let me go and get it. Hang on.
Get it?
Is it like Tang? Is that what he's talking about?
Maybe.
Something like that, like a drink.
Yeah. Look. Hang on.
All right. Let's see.
Just
All right.
this is. Can you read that?
Oh, it actually says whole orange squash. So it's is it like a concentrate?
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
You put that much orange in the glass, and then you fill the rest up with water.
Is it made with oranges, or is it actual squash drink?
Well, it's made of
What do
orange.
the ingredients say? Read the ingredients.
Hang on, fucking hell.
Put your bins on. Come on, put those bins on.
Ingredients: water, communicated orange from concentrated acid, something else called sodium citrate, crystal meth,
Yeah.
sweeteners, flavourings, and colour, and there's probably a bit of orange in there as well. Somewhere.
So is it fresh?
Yeah, right. Well, the
Fresh
crystal
from the
meth
vines.
keeps it fresh.
I like
But
it.
squash, you get raspberry squash, orange squash,
We don't have that.
No, we don't have
blackcurrant squash.
no.
So you don't have a thing
Any
where you
squash.
dilute it.
Well, it's
No.
concentrated.
Well, we have concentrate, but it's in like it's frozen in like a little tube thing, and you put it in, and you add water to it.
like this.
Yep. You put it in,
You shake it
Right.
around.
and you add some water.
Right.
Sometimes you do two.
Right.
For those of you who are listening,
Wobbly H.
doing jerk off motions.
This isn't the wobbly H, is it?
No, wobbly
Wobbly
H.
H.
That
Nope.
gets the old high five to Eiffel Tower. That's the transition.
Oh,
So,
no.
well, that's a fun start. So, anyways,
It's gone
today
downhill quickly.
Lynn's going to tell us about
I'm going to tell you about the Russian cosmonauts and the space angels. Dun, dun, dun. It's a little story. This has been on, I think, on Ancient Aliens. They did talk about this. It was several years ago. But there is a story. This is my official news report. Hold on. Sorry. She's
Right.
Excuse me one second. I'm going to tell you this story.
Woo.
Right.
Okay.
Sober?
Go on.
Sober? Not even close.
What?
Okay. No. Just happy.
That's nice.
Happy and fun. I've been chugging mine. You don't have quite as well. No, I guess we're about the same. All right, good girl. So in April of 1982, so we're going back a little ways.
Okay.
The Soviet Union launched its Salyut 7 space station. So this is, I believe it's before like the ISS, and it's before the Mir space station,
Okay.
which other people have heard of. So this was one just prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it started, I know, right? Sorry. This says, okay, I'm by no means a space historian. It says, I'm reading from this, most of the information you get is from kind of the same article. It's just regurgitated from different authors. And I pulled this one from Mysterious Universe. The originals are in Russian, which I do not speak the language of the motherland, so cannot
But
understand.
you can mock
Right.
it.
I can.
I like it.
Pretend-
Sorry, Russia.
I love the motherland. Okay, so it says it was the 10th space station ever put into orbit by mankind. I didn't know there were 9 others before this, so
Well, by 1982, they were chucking shit up there.
I
for a
guess
long
so.
time.
Yeah, but space stations? I didn't know that. Anyway, so the Salyut 7 would stay in orbit for almost 9 years. It's 8 years and 10 months, right?
Okay.
And during that time, it had a series of kind of weird events.
Okay.
It was July of 1984. The Salyut 7 was on its 155th day of its mission. Things were going in routine fashion. Everybody was good. We're floating around, checking things out. And then there was a sudden transmission from cosmonauts Commander Oleg Otkov, Vladimir Solovyov.
There had to be a Vladimir.
Vladimir, yes. And Leonid Kizm.
Could you say that regularly, or did you have to say it in the
It
accent?
requires the accent.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just, yeah.
I mean, I can. I mean,
No.
Leonard Kizm is
Good
not
old
as fun.
Leonard.
Good old Rusty Beatty.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Rusty.
Those of you not familiar, check out our Florida Man episode.
No, Rusty Beatty was from
Wrong. What was it? What was
fucking
Rusty-
windmill.
Flat
bullshit.
Earth?
Was
No.
that no? Rusty Beatty was. Where is Rusty Beatty from?
Florida.
What, he was?
Florida.
Oh, is
Well,
it Florida? No, he wasn't the Texas, Aurora, Texas.
Was Rusty?
No, Rusty Beatty was one of your Florida Man
I
stories.
thought so.
Caitlin.
I'm sorry, I drank too much.
Clearly.
Didn't you do the research for that one?
I mean, if you,
It was your show. You fucking read it out. Yeah.
guys, wasn't that like 10 years ago? It feels
Feels
like
like
it was
it.
10
Yeah.
years
Feels
ago.
like it.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was.
to the listeners, it may.
That was when we had subscribers.
Truth. All right. Well,
Okay. So, anyways,
back to Leonard.
so Leonard, Vladimir, and Oleg. I mean, could they be more Russian other than Leonard? Oh no, it's Leonid. Leonid.
All right.
Kizm.
Sorry.
Okay, so they were in the space station, and all of a sudden, they say they were surrounded by this like oppressive, blinding orange light. They couldn't see, and it eventually dimmed a little bit. And as they looked out of the portals of the space station at this glow to try to figure out where the hell this light was coming from, they saw hovering in space in front of the space station. They described 7 enormous winged humanoid beings, estimated as being around 90 feet in height.
What?
So giant, 90 feet in height with calm, smiling faces. And they said it was from these beings that this light was emanating.
Blimey.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
That's a huge bitch.
Right. So
Anyway.
you see a 90-foot humanoid being with wings.
Yeah, you shut yourself. Yeah.
Right.
while you're in space.
While you're in space, so
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do. You can't go
Right.
anywhere.
So
No.
how many of these things were there?
7.
7.
But they claimed they felt a feeling of calm and peacefulness.
Okay.
So there was no fear. There was merely wonderment, as this describes. According to the witnesses, I'm not sure. I would think the witnesses would be the astronauts, and there's no one else up there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
it says the colossal apparitions, which they described as, in quotes, angels, matched the speed of the space station.
Yeah.
remaining in the same position for around 10 minutes before fading away. So they were there for quite a while.
Yeah.
So these astronauts or cosmonauts were kind of like, what the fuck just happened? So they all kind of concluded, you know what? It was a mass hallucination. We're going to that was all. We're going to go with that. Right. And they would have been good with that because they were just kind of
that makes sense.
That's logical.
Right.
Yeah, we're all just
we've all had this
hallucinated the same thing, all three of us.
Yeah, because that's normal behavior, isn't it?
Yes. Well, these are scientists. They're astronauts or pilots. So they're trying to rationalize what happens, right? So they're like, okay, maybe there was a lack of oxygen. Maybe it's just being in space for so long. Sometimes pilots do hallucinate. I mean, they have been known to hallucinate when they've been in the air and at high altitudes for long periods of time. So they're thinking, okay, maybe that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Maybe we all saw the same thing. Okay.
Right.
So they would have been happy with that. But that's not the end. On day 167, so this is 12 days later, so it's less than 2 weeks, then they gained an additional 3 cosmonauts. Svetlana.
It's like 3 Russian blokes.
No, Svetlana is a woman.
That's abroad.
Yes, Svetlana Savitskaya. Oh, wait, they had an Igor, which...
Yeah,
you have to have an Igor and another Vladimir.
One more Vladimir.
One Vladimir was not.
You don't want to pronounce that last name?
Zenebikov. Zenebikov.
It's a doozy.
It's Zenebikov. Okay, so it starts with a D, but I'm ignoring it.
The big old D. We're avoiding it.
Okay, so
hold on a second.
I'm just going to get the squash out.
Just going to avoid that D.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So.
I can't cross my legs.
I know.
My pants are too tight.
Fucking hell.
This is a mess. Go on.
All right. So not long after the crew members boarded. So they didn't tell them anything. I don't believe. They were kind of just like, you know what? We're going to keep this shit to ourselves. Like, this is a little crazy. Yeah. We don't want to be grounded. We're not going to say anything.
Did they radio back at all?
It doesn't say if they radioed back at that point in time. I think from everything I was reading, they waited until they returned home.
And not one of them got a photo of it then?
What?
Not one of them got a photo of it.
Say that in English?
Not what? not one of them got a photo of it.
No, they did not.
Goodbye.
No. Goodbye. Caitlin's done. She's out.
Right, okay, all right.
No, they didn't. They didn't, for whatever.
I'm just curious.
I think they were in shock and awe, and none of them thought to grab the camera. So, I don't know. I mean, it was there for 10 minutes. You'd think they would, but from what we know, there are no photos. There may be, but I'll get to that.
Yeah. But,
okay.
All right.
So, not long after these new crew members came on, the station was once again bathed in that really bright orange light. Okay. You know, the other 3 are like, here we go again.
Right.
Yeah.
So all 6 members now were looking out of the windows. And again, all 6 of them saw massive angelic beings swimming through the blackness of space outside, again with their benevolent, smiling faces.
So fucking creepy.
Yeah.
So now they're beginning to think, all right, 6 of us are now seeing the exact same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe not a hallucination.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
So you know what, lads?
Maybe.
I don't think we're imagining this. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, they're like, Moscow, we have a problem. This is not Houston.
Clever girl. There she is.
There it is. Okay, so that's pretty much the extent of what happened when they were up in space.
Okay.
So when they concluded, they returned to Earth and they told them what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, this was completely covered up. It was automatically classified as top secret.
Right.
They were told, do not speak of this. Part of that is, this is during the time of the Soviet Union. And angels, what they're calling angels, it's a religious figure.
Right.
So they're like, nope, we're nixing the religion. Like, no, it's not happening. Right. So they were just told, don't ever discuss this.
Okay.
Right.
They also did rounds of physical and psychological tests on the astronauts. And there was nothing out of the ordinary. They were completely normal. Like there was no psychological issues that could have explained what they all saw.
Yeah.
So everybody came back. So none of this really came out until after the Cold War was over. I wasn't able to find out like when it came out or how it came out. Like I said, the original like news reports were in Russian, which I cannot read, unfortunately. But other visual phenomena have been reported, like I said, for me. Sorry.
Sober up, Lynn, for fuck's sakes.
Okay, so it has fruit in it. It's a breakfast food.
It's a breakfast beverage.
That's right.
All right.
Got berries in it.
Do you know what this story reminds me of?
No, do tell while I have another sip.
Go on, do it yourself. The Foo Fighters.
You say the Foo Fighters?
The Foo Fighters. You know, in World War II, the pilots saw the
II.
orange balls of glowing light outside the airplanes. Spheres, I should say.
I didn't know that was a thing.
So the Germans thought they belonged to us, and we thought that they belonged to Germany.
Really?
But they were balls of light that followed the planes in the
just
sky.
like orange glowing spheres of light.
Oh, I thought it was just like a 90s band.
It is interesting, and I did
that's what they named the thing after, but that's...
Now I know.
You got it.
After.
Now it's all coming together for
Damn you,
Yeah.
Dave Grohl. Damn you.
The point is they're looking out the window and they're seeing this strange thing that they can't explain.
And it's interesting, now that you say that, they're both orange. I don't know if that makes any... I mean, but it is. They're both orange.
Are they orange squash or are they just orange?
That's fucking made your morning, isn't it?
They've added the light instead of the water. Glowing
orange.
That's what it was. Squash. It was the fucking British pilots with their orange squash drinks. Like,
probably
hey
buddy, you got some water? I don't know why they have that accent. Hey, kid, some fucking water for this orange squash.
I've never heard this story before, Lynn.
You haven't?
No, I haven't. No.
I kind of heard it. Maybe it's because Lynn told me.
Probably.
Oh no, I've not heard this one.
Okay, so there, people have taken this story and run with it. I mean, all kinds of claims from like, oh, obviously NASA's covering it up. They've known about this as well. People brought in the Vatican, the Illuminati. I mean, people just take these stories and run with them, right? But in reality, I looked for like evidence to support this. And like I said, the originals are all in Russian. There's really not a lot. It seems like there was maybe one or two Russian news stories, like written stories that people got a hold of, and then this all kind of exploded. But there obviously was something that was going on, right? So now, turn in the paper. Okay, that sounds like the old-time newsy report.
Yeah. Extra.
Today,
Now, another comrade, Yuri Gagarin. I can't say that one in the accent. I don't know why. Yuri Gagarin. He was the first man in space, right? He orbited the Earth.
Okay.
This was during the space race when Kennedy's like, we gotta get people up there. Yeah. No, Yuri Gagarin was the first man to orbit the Earth in space. Now, he described an encounter with something very similar, and this was in April of 1961.
Interesting.
He says, at 2 points during his space flight aboard the Vostok 1, Gagarin inexplicably went silent, lost contact. So they lost radio contact with him, right? When he was asked about it later, he was not sure what had happened. He thought, well, maybe I just briefly lost consciousness.
Right.
But he wasn't sure. During hypnotic regression, however, Gagarin claimed that he could remember seeing an enormous, mysterious figure floating in space in front of him, and that he heard a voice in his head saying, do not worry, everything will be fine. You'll come back to Earth. Whether this was in Russian or English.
Before
the apparition vanished into thin air before his eyes.
So you don't know if it's a Russian being or an English being?
I don't know. Maybe it's a Russian accent. Do not worry. Everything will be fine. You will return to Earth. It's no problem.
So he went up in the early 60s?
61. Yeah, this was in April of 61.
So, and then these other people have seen these things.
This was in the 80s. Yeah, 1984.
So it's still there, isn't it? So it's
evidently.
It's probably still there now. So
yeah. So now here's another. Go ahead.
I was going to say there might be people on there now that are saying they can see it.
Well, Funny you should say that, because more recently, in 2008,
Got your number.
former member of the Space Shuttle fleet named Clark C. McClellan came forward to claim that he had years earlier, so it doesn't say when, but he just said years earlier, he was at the Kennedy Space Station. His job was, he was looking at the monitors, observing, making sure everything was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point in time, he claims that over one of the, I don't know why they specified the 27-inch monitors, he not only observed an enormous entity between 8 and 9 feet tall in the space station's payload bay, but he said he actually saw it interacting with the astronauts. He would say of what he saw thus. This is what the article said. Right? Why they had to word it that way, I do not know. It's very stupid.
It's inside the craft.
This was inside the payload bay, yes. It's not Russian. I don't know why we have the accent now.
That's very good, Lynn.
They're American, thank you.
It's inside the fucking payload bay, kid.
Caitlin, read it in Boston.
Kid dude.
Kid dude, listen. Okay, so he says, this is what McClellan said. The ET was standing upright in the Space Shuttle payload bay, having a discussion with 2 tethered U.S. NASA astronauts. I also observed on my monitors the spacecraft of the ET as it was in a stabilized, safe orbit to the rear of the Space Shuttle main engine pods. I observed this incident for about 1 minute and 7 seconds. This is very specific.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to memorize all that I was observing. Now, he says other people saw this incident too, but they'd all been told, keep quiet about it. And he didn't say anything about it until after he retired from NASA.
Yeah, well, you got to keep
right.
his job.
He's got to keep his job. He's got to be quiet, right?
Yeah.
He also claims, now this is where it gets a little more out there, right? He also claims that the government has regular dealings with these creatures and that it is all kept top secret. In this case, the entity mentioned is certainly described as an alien of some type, but its sheer size makes it interesting in relation to the space angel phenomena and makes one wonder just what it is this man really saw.
Well, how is 9 feet and 90 feet?
Yeah, I agree.
Relative.
Like, this is the miniature version. I don't know.
Is it a baby?
It's a baby angel.
It's a little baby.
It's a cherub.
It's quite intriguing because I've always thought over the years, like, this is the sort of thing I think about when I'm driving.
All right.
Which explains why my driving is fucking ludicrous. I've always thought that if there is life outside, it's obviously on a planet or something like that. It doesn't always have to be. It can be living in space, can't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly
it can adapt. It can adapt to whatever. It can be living on an asteroid or,
right.
Well,
space itself could house creatures.
Right. Well, the way they've described these a lot of the time is they're like light beings. So they don't necessarily have a physical body similar to what we have.
Yeah.
I mean, they could. I mean, we know that there are things that can survive in space. I mean, the little tiny tardigrades on the space shuttle or the space station, whatever it was, they survived in the vacuum of space. We know that there's bacteria that's been on the outside of our vessels that have survived in space. So it's possible.
I'd be surprised. Well, not so much. Well, not Yuri Gagarin, but the 1984 crew.
Mm-hmm.
Cameras were popular then and rife then. Most people, they would have had a camera on board.
Well, if you if it's one of those situations where they're like almost entranced by whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think one of them's probably say, "Fuck it, you know what? We'll get a picture of this," but they're not allowed to push it out to the public. Somewhere in some vault somewhere is these pictures and evidence.
Maybe you questioning cosmonauts.
Because Russia's really, really known for its
exaggerations.
Well, they're also really known for their need to share information with the outside world. They really love to just share their findings.
They're open.
Yeah.
Very open country.
Yeah.
Sorry, Russia.
Sorry, Russia.
Sorry, KGB.
Sorry, KGB. They're going to be at my house by the time I get fucking home. In Mother Russia.
Russia. We do not say such.
Yeah. So I bet the 80s lot has got a photo, but they've
I mean, it's possible.
They've probably all had to sign documents to say that they can't disclose it and whatever.
Right. Right. I'm sure. Yeah, they were told basically.
Story.
Keep it. Yeah. Story. I mean, there are people who claim that the Hubble has taken pictures of space angels.
Really?
I've seen this. I've seen the pictures online. I mean, they look like either gas in space or far distant stars that are in like the shape of an angel, but I don't know. You know, it's
a bit like these.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Like these fucking twats who say, I've seen a picture of Jesus on my toast.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's kind of like, you see it now.
I totally was listening to a different podcast this morning, and they were talking about visions of Jesus, places or like people seeing Mary and
now
Jesus in a dog's butthole. They're like,
yeah. I've never seen. In fairness, Caitlin, I've never seen Jesus on cheese on toast.
No, you've never. No. You're gonna burn it a little bit more.
No.
But you know what? If you use Swiss cheese, it is holy toast. It's
fuck!
Bad joke of the day. Nicely done.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Caitlin's going to be visited by the butthole angel later.
Oh, 2 butthole episode names in a row. It's going to be too much. Oh my God. The butthole angel is that you're the butthole queen.
I am the queen, yes. The butthole queen of Boston.
Anyways.
So how did you...
Let me see.
So my question...
Sorry.
How long have you known about this story, Lynn?
I'm not sure. Years. I've known about it for years. Yeah. I don't remember the first time I heard it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is
a good story.
Interesting that the second round of cosmonauts saw the same thing.
Yes.
You know, like the first 3 were like, holy fuck balls. Right. And then the second 3 came up and they were like,
holy moly.
They said holy moly because they were much more reserved.
Right, yes. They're astronauts.
The second 3 were like,
does it say whether the angels were actually looking at...
Yes. It didn't say on this
one.
All
looking at the space station.
Yes, they were making eye contact with the astronauts or the cosmonauts.
Fuck that.
Yes, and that's when they were smiling at them, and they basically had this feeling of like, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I would not have
everything gonna be all right. That's what they thought. Russian Bob Marley. That's a Russian Bob Marley.
I don't.
No, I hate it.
Actually, I really.
And no one. Okay, so the last one was in 2008, but they said they saw
that was the dude that said he saw it in the space shuttle payload bay. I think it was.
What's a payload bay?
I don't know. It's a bay
where they pay.
So bizarre.
I think it's like a big area where they store stuff, isn't it? Or where things can come in. Like, I just have this like image in my head of like, you know, when you see all the sci-fi movies of like Star Trek and stuff, where they have the bays where the shuttles come in.
Yeah,
that's what I imagine a payload bay to be like. But
docking
bay, I don't know. Payload maybe I think is where they store things. I don't know, but they said that the astronauts were tethered, so they must have been out in space. I don't know. Maybe the payload bay doors were open.
Do you reckon it's the same portion of space?
That right there is our still.
Is it the same area of space that this been seen in?
I don't fucking know.
Earth's orbit, though, because they're in the...
It's all in orbit, yeah.
It's all in the Earth's orbit because they're in the space...
I don't know where exactly they were in space. Yes, coordinates.
But they're in space stations, right? And those usually...
they're all in about the same...
They're in
they're
orbit,
at the same level, yeah. So they're all...
Well,
this is before... I believe it's before the ISS. It was definitely before the Mir, and I think that was before the ISS came up. So... Yeah, so this was, you know, before everybody else. I don't know what they do with the old ones. Do they just leave them as space junk? I don't know.
I think they do.
I would probably. We have some shit up there now.
But there's like, if there's paint, a fleck of, I heard somewhere that a speck of paint from satellites and that can smash something. It'll cause so much damage because it's traveling so fast.
That's an exaggeration, a speck of paint. But
Really?
I know a small rock can or a small like piece of something, but paint, I don't know that would do a whole heck of a lot. It's paint.
Yeah, but what if it's paint? Don't get mad.
I'm just saying. It's
fucking hell, mate, you last drink.
soft, Lynn. It's like a
Fucking hell.
saw. Let me
We've
tear
all had a drink.
paper
We've all had a drink.
Okay.
Listen, angry.
I'm gonna go destroy the space
Take
station
With a tiny piece of paper.
with a tiny piece. But that's what I'm saying. Like a fleck of paint is gonna be like that as well.
Do you think my beard hair could cause damage?
That is
Oh,
definitely
fucking hell, Caitlin.
Lee appreciates my ladylikeness. What?
Well, because you're a lady to the manner born, Caitlin.
the man of bone, Caitlin.
Yeah.
No.
To the fucking man, kid.
I'm that fucking lady to the fucking man of born kid, dude guy.
You're 3 times a lady,
I'm like,
Caitlin.
yeah.
Oh, these Venetian blinds. Oh Jesus! This is not for podcast time, but remind me. I'll tell you the story of my gun safety course at some point in time in life, where I encountered the most Boston women of all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's fucking we're gonna learn about stun guns. It was just a lot. It was a lot. This is
Boston women in space. That's
Boston
what we
women
need.
in space. Like, do you see that fucking angel kid? That thing, but I fucking punched you right in his face, dude. You don't come over to my fucking space station and try to fucking. My hair keeps gotten these space blinds.
Fucking
Well,
helmet.
Lynn,
Smashing my hair.
your old next door neighbour, Lynn, in Beverly, Angela.
Oh, no names.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Angela.
lovely. I do love Angela, but she was
She had
Yeah.
super Boston.
Oh, man, I could hear her from outside the fuck.
I love that. Yeah.
Listen, I love Boston girls.
Yes.
I work with a super Boston girl. I actually hope she listens to this. And she says this sentence, and I'm going to tell you right now. She literally goes like this. And this fucking guy was fucking pissing me off. And it's like, suck my fucking asshole, kid. That's what she said.
That right there is why I love Boston. Like they
Suck
just
my
nobody
asshole,
takes any
kid.
shit over here. Like I love that about
And it's
it.
really like about the stupidest thing too,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh
So
yeah,
they're
they
like,
get pissed off about the dumbest things.
dude, I went to get a coffee and this guy was like way too fucking close to me in line. Like,
Right.
what are you fucking sucking my asshole, dude? Get out of here, bro. Kid.
Kid. Yeah, kid. Yeah, everything has kid in it.
We're all kids.
Kid. Dude, you're a fucking kid. You're a fucking kid. Listen here, kid.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you saw some fucking angels in
see
space,
some
kid.
fucking space angels, bro.
Whatever. I see space angels every day. It's not that special.
It just fucking doesn't help that I smoke crack, dude, but it's fine. Smoke some crack, see some space angels, punch them in the fucking nuts. Get out of here. You talking about my mother? I'll fucking kill you, kid. I'm talking about my mother like that. She's a fucking saint.
Space angels can suck my asshole.
Suck my fucking asshole, space. You looking at me? I'm gonna fucking suck my fucking asshole. Suck my asshole. Seriously? It's the best phrase. It's the best thing to say. Like, it's so
disgusting.
like when you really think about it literally, like, go
Yeah.
fuck yourself. You're like, that actually sounds like a good time, right? Like, thank you for the suggestion, but suck my asshole?
No thanks.
I'll pass.
You might need a straw.
Thanks. Oh, make sure it's a fucking paper straw because we don't want to hurt the sea turtles.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Is that a big thing in England where they
What's-
got they got rid of all plastic straws in America? They're trying to get rid of all plastic straws because it hurts the
Dunk still has
the
plastic
sea
straws.
turtles.
Keep the guns, but the straws have got to go.
I got some of those
We don't
metal-
care about the children. We want to save the sea turtles.
Yes, the sea turtle.
Everyone can have a gun. That's
Hey.
marvellous. That's fine.
Never
But
know,
for fuck's
kid. You might
sake,
need a gun.
the straws have
Pull
got to
Space
go.
Angel's head off.
America.
Straws have got to go.
America. America.
No, I don't know about the straws. That's a new one on me.
So it's a thing. It's a huge movement in the States where they're trying to get rid of plastic straws
Yes.
All right.
because it hurts the sea turtles.
Well, around here, a lot of the
So-
plastic bags have been banned.
Plastic bags. That's been a thing though. Like,
But it's not
What are
nationwide.
they gonna,
California is like that.
what are they going to make the straws out of then?
Paper.
Or,
Or
you
like
can
I have like
Oh, paper.
a reusable.
Reusable. I have some like you can get these like metal. I got some of those.
Yeah, the
like,
metal
the
ones
metal
are cool.
ones.
Except I bite my
Right.
straws, so then I fucking
Oh,
clink my teeth right on them. But yeah, it's a big thing. So I don't know why we're talking. Why
we're very environmentally conscious, dude. I can't even talk now.
It's just one.
I know, right? You sucked that down, man.
I'm good at sucking it down.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what is the color of your drink, or is that the glass that's purple?
The glass is like iridescent, which is really cool.
It is. They're magical
really
glasses. But there's fruit in here as well. There's blueberries and raspberries.
Right.
Strawberries.
Okay.
Strawberries, yes.
Snozberries.
Snozberries.
You're right.
Snozberries taste like snozberries. And wine.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, did you get one that's been marinating for 2 days?
Yum.
One of the best ones.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Nothing. We're talking about sucking assholes.
Sucking my fucking asshole.
Talking about anything of any substance.
Suck my asshole.
So,
I want to do an entire episode on Boston women.
Done.
Yeah.
I'll save my gun safety.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Boston women.
Yeah,
My
the preview.
haircut. Yeah, Lee, I mean, you had an experience. But anyway, so back to Mother Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So do you believe it?
Can you do it?
No.
Come on.
In Mother Russia. I can't do it. I sounded Asian.
You gotta go low for the Russian accent.
Mother
Russia.
I can't do the
No. That's like an Italian.
I am Italian.
I am too.
I like a fucking
Should be.
spicy meatball kiss.
You're Boston Italian.
Yeah, I am. Yes.
I'm
Lee,
Philly
can you
Italian.
do a Russian accent, Lee?
Freeze, motherfucker!
Russian.
No, I'm joking. What do you want me to say?
I love that that's the American accent.
I don't know.
Freeze, motherfucker!
It's always it's appropriate.
I don't know, saying they think
I'm looking out the window. I can see the angel.
Oh, it's really good.
Nice. Oh, he's very nice, Russian man.
So there's a Muppets movie. Yes, hello, hi, I'm a child, and it's hilarious. And it's called Muppets Most Wanted. And there's an evil Kermit, and his name is Constantine. And he is
Kermit.
and he
That's right.
So his
Evil Kermit.
he literally is like, I can do what you want, right? And he like sings all these songs in Russian, and he pretends to be Kermit the Frog, and he's like impersonating Kermit. I don't know. I'm actually doing this right now.
That film. Yeah.
It's so fucking funny. And there's one part where he's rehearsing like the intro to the Muppet Show, and he's like watching old Muppet Show videos of Kermit, and he's going, Kermit the Frog. And then he's like, keeps doing it. And then he finally does it one more time. He's like, Kermit the Frog. Nailed it. Right? That's what it is. And that's where we are.
That's Caitlin's Russian accent.
That's all I can do. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
So did you was going to ask if I believed it?
Yeah, do you believe it?
Well, yeah, if lots of people are saying the same thing, then yeah, I do believe it. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not buy the mass hallucination explanation.
No, I don't.
In any situation.
As I say every week, the romantic in me.
I like it.
We're gonna have
the romantic in me. Yeah, I believe the story. If you got Yuri Gagarin going through it on hypnosis, then you got the crew in 1984, then you got some other guy or woman in 2008 saying, I recently saw it. If they're all saying the same thing, then you've got to go with it, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, the guy in 2008 said he saw a being, didn't describe it as like an angelic being, but yeah, you're a good guy.
Believe it.
And then the other ones, I mean, there's got to be something that was there.
Right.
Do you guys buy into there's an explanation that it may have been like a lack of oxygen, that they were all, but see again,
how are they going to all hallucinate the same thing?
Yeah.
Because astronauts do say, like, especially the ones who've been out in space for a long time.
Right.
And, the brains are just trying to deal.
Well,
right.
They say they will hallucinate, and they say that they've seen things like each other changing into these weird creatures and stuff. They see it, but they don't report seeing the same thing.
Right.
These guys, all 6 of them saw the same being.
And 3 of them saw it twice.
Yes, 3 of them saw it twice.
So it's really cool.
But I'm going to do the orange thing. That it
Now,
was a fight and the Foo Fighters were orange. I think there's a connection there.
Do you think it's a weird coincidence that we started the episode talking about Lee's orange squash?
Hey!
Comrade.
Someone's just played Knockdown Ginger.
Nuh-uh.
No, it was a ghost.
There's 4 or 5 lads just walked past, and the door just.
I like how the British one's like, and then they just walk past very slowly. Like,
They don't run away.
We'll
No,
just
they're just
by.
walking. He just went like that. Yeah, yeah,
It's a ghost.
yeah. My question. I got a question.
Okay.
Is you got the 3 Russian astronauts that have seen the angels, right?
Right.
Then another 3 came on board, right? And they saw the same thing. Now, do you know that when the last 3 came on board, did the first 3 tell them?
It doesn't say, but they basically said they chalked it up to a hallucination or something. So
Right.
they were trying to rationalize it. I don't know.
Because that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Because you think, well, you got 3 people coming on board. Do we tell them?
Say something,
Right.
and then
Yeah, do we tell them?
As possible. I don't know.
Because if they didn't tell them, and then they're seeing it as well, then that's really concrete evidence.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think that would be. It would lend
So
more credence to the fact that they saw something if they didn't tell them, but we don't know. We don't.
Yeah.
know.
I think I need to learn Russian,
Right? I think
and
you
then
do.
I'll read it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. I took Spanish for like 17 years, and I can't speak a fucking word. Hola.
Que pasa?
Yeah. Can I get a
does that mean?
quesadilla? What?
What does that mean?
Hola?
Hello?
No, hello. No, the bit after that.
What's up?
Que pasa?
Que pasa
Yeah.
means what's up.
What's up?
Oh, okay.
Que
No.
pasa?
Took Spanish, I see.
We don't do Spanish at school. We do
What do you do?
French.
Yeah, well,
French.
you're closer to
Fuck,
French.
Yeah, well, we fucking Spanish is like
You're closer to French. You're closer to France. We're real
Yeah.
close to the Mexico.
half of our population speaks Spanish.
Yeah. We
Probably
get
more.
you do French or German, and then no fuck, I want to speak German.
No,
So,
that's sad. German's such a beautiful language.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
aggressive.
They sound so angry.
Yeah. So most people say, they give German language a swerve, and they do French instead. So, yeah.
They teach usually Spanish and French here. You can choose between the
or
two.
Latin.
Or Latin. I took a year of Latin.
There's always the choice of Latin, which fucking pisses me off.
I took a year of Latin, but I wanted to go to vet school, so I needed the Latin. I wanted to know what Latin terms were.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
and I also took botany, which
Yeah.
Good tale.
thought
This
you'd
is
like
a-
that one.
This is a doozy.
It is.
What does that mean? You keep
What? A
you're
doozy?
saying that a lot. Yeah. What does that mean?
Like big. Like this is a.
I don't know.
I don't know how to explain
a doozy?
it.
We need to
Google
ask
it.
us when we're sober.
I'm like pretty sober.
Sorry.
Doozy. I mean, it's got a lot of impact.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Doozy.
Something outstanding or unique of its kind.
All right.
I like the
And
example.
the example sentence is, it's going to be a doozy of a black eye.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What a nice
Like
example.
one hell of a, like this is one hell of an episode, or this is one hell of a black eye.
But I love
Yeah.
that that's the example they came up with.
Ooh-wee! You're going to have a doozy of a black eye.
Yeah.
Examples. I got one for you, kid, for this one.
Kid.
So you're doozy of a
Doozy,
black
bro.
eye.
That's good, Lynn.
Boy, what's happening? Russian cosmonauts? Random bullshit.
Right?
So I kind of believe it. I think it's like, I don't know. I
There's
think
something.
some of it has to be something.
Right. What it is they're seeing, I don't know. I mean, is it possible that maybe there was some sort of weird gas that enveloped the space station and they saw something that they couldn't explain, and so their mind,
Right.
it was an effect like matrixing, and they saw it as an angel because their mind was trying to make sense of it.
Right.
Maybe.
All right.
What's
Yeah,
the weird orange gas floating around? I don't know.
In all paranormal stuff, though, you could, you'll always get people challenging it and
Of
questioning
course. Of course.
and dissecting it.
Yeah.
No matter how much evidence you've got,
Yeah.
there will always be, They won't change their minds. They
There's
are
always
not.
some dickhead that will come up with an explanation, no matter how stupid it is.
Yeah. Strong. Yeah. But
Listen here, kid. This fucking dickhead's trying to explain this away.
I saw a fucking space angel, and this motherfucking dickhead over here is trying to suck my asshole and tell me I didn't see what I thought I saw. Are you done with us yet? Done? Is the world done with us?
I think so.
I think I'm done with us.
You think you're done with it?
No,
Okay.
not really. But
Yeah.
I think,
That's a good one.
yeah.
It was mediocre.
It's a little guy. It was a little
guy.
It was a little blipper,
It
but that's
was.
okay. It's
You know.
pretty interesting. It's something to think about. Food for thought. Orange light theory.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Orange light theory.
I learned that
Orange squash theory.
I learned about orange squash.
We did.
I learned about the Foo Fighters.
We learned that Boston women like to say "suck my asshole."
Just the one that I know. It's the first time I've ever heard it, and I really love it.
It's hilarious. We know what we need to do is just collect all of the sayings that we hear on a regular basis that we don't really think of.
Yeah.
And then we can have a Boston women accent
We can do
or a
it.
Boston women episode.
We'll ask, do you allow people to make comments on YouTube, on the
Yeah,
channel?
of course.
Right, so
We're fucking make comments.
we're not the bloke who fucking...
Yeah, you've seen the comments.
I
Yeah.
love those. I
Yeah,
love
that-
hate comments.
Evidently,
not
we're
that-
cunt liars.
I'm a Jew.
Fucking-
No, we're
That's-
NASA Jew cunt liars.
Yeah.
That was the twat about fucking flat Earth, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
if people,
it's
if
crazy.
people watching this, why don't they make a comment and say, well, what do you think?
Yeah.
We would
Do you
love to
believe
hear
it?
what you think.
Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Do you know any more information on it? Like,
Were you on board?
was it you?
Were you on board?
Are you the space angel?
Vladimir, listen to me.
Tell
Yeah.
us.
Call me.
So-
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. Anywhere. I would love for people to
Yeah.
send us their input
You know, it'd be nice to know that people are listening. So, hey, comment, people.
if they got this far.
Right. Or like, done.
Skip. Skip. Next. Well, in that on what? God damn it. I swear to God, I'm an elegant goodbye.
Right.
No.
Done.
So on that
No.
Hey, I've got an idea. I've just had a lovely idea.
what's your lovely idea?
Lovely idea.
My lovely idea is you say your usual ending line, but you do it in a Russian accent.
I can't do it.
Oh,
I can't do a good Russian accent, so maybe Lynn needs to close out today.
I can do it.
Right.
Okay, so
Oh.
I'm gonna go with thank you very much for listening. If you made it this far, we're fucking sorry. Sorry. But let us know. Listen to all that crap. Tell your friends, tell your doctor, tell your proctologist, tell your fucking mother, tell your dead grandmother at the grave. Share. Suck my fucking asshole. And
Go fuck yourself.
go fuck yourself.
Good morning. Morning. It's kind of like a mimosa, right?
It is a mimosa.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Fucking hell. Some people don't know when to stop. Cheers. if you ever wank in the bar and you come, it's called Wankton.
Wankson? Wankton? Like
No,
Plankton?
Oh, wait.